one's desires, right? Now, first and foremost, are they really one's desires? I mean, our sense of self may reject some of our alleged desires, right? And which could be physiological in origin, but through repeated exposure to the desire, it may grow, right? In any case, some people who are struggling with addiction or unfettered desire, as they describe, maybe they're aspiring to achieve some asceticism or chastity, especially those who are in the pursuit of some spiritual life of modest means, which may sometimes be questionable. They chastise themselves for their lack of chastity. Funny play on words there, but they may even espouse the notion that they cannot control their desires. But, well, in fact, they can control their desires. You don't see them expressing their desires out in the open to people. It's often very secretive. So you can certainly control your desires given the context. It's situational, right? Can you control your desires in that moment? Well, you contain your desire and express it into something that you allow, essentially. You don't lose your mind to where you're like in a completely different world, but you may feel like you're just animalistic. Anyone who has addiction probably knows that feeling where it feels like you lose some sense of agency in that moment. You surrender yourself to instinct. But those instincts can always be inverted to where it becomes effortless to do things like working out, do things like drawing, do things like cycling, do things like writing or painting. That muscle memory, like painting or playing the piano, that becomes almost instinctual, just like when you learned how to drive. So you're refining your instincts, right? But in effect, one's morality can invert their instincts, if that makes sense, right? That's why I say it's important to have a sense of morality, not necessarily a morality, but a sense of morality. Some people think the amoralist will necessarily be immoral, but he is not bound to the constraints of morality. He has a sense of morality in his heart, maybe even in his instincts, if that makes sense. But that's all I wanted to share. You know, you can rationalize your own desire, but really you need to take matters into your own hands, so to speak, and retrain yourself to be for bigger and better things. It's not to hate desire, but it's to acknowledge it for what it is, right? And we have a will to live. That one could argue that's a desire in and of itself. So, can you really say desire across the board is something immoral? It really depends how you harness it.